Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are about 5 days before the major MLB trade deadline. I just wanted to update everyone on what is currently going on with the Ohtani situation, the Juan Soto rumors. Apparently, the Nationals don't want to include Patrick Corbin in a Juan Soto trade, which would be major stuff considering Juan Soto is so valuable. And now, if you don't include Corbin and his contract, it would cost at least, I would say 5, either really good young players or prospects to get Soto, which would limit the overall teams that could trade for Soto to the Cardinals, the Dodgers, the Mariners, and teams like the Padres. So first, this report, it says New York Mets have spoken to the Angels about Shohei Ohtani. And guys, I've been thinking about it the past few days. If I am the Angels, I totally understand what Ohtani brings in terms of revenue, but I would 1,000% trade him immediately. Or once you get the best offer before August 2nd, the chances you resign him are, not great. And even if you do resign him to a massive deal, you have to deal with major injury risk. Ohtani is not young. Ohtani pitches and he hits. And you sign him to a 5 or 6 year extension, that's a ticking time bomb. Not to mention you've already got 2 massive contracts on your books for the next 5-6 years at least with Trout and Rendon. Horrible farm system. And again, with Ohtani and Trout, you're not very good anyways. It makes no sense to keep Ohtani other than just overall revenue you bring in from the fact that you have Ohtani on your team. So I actually did a video a few days ago on 5 trades that should happen, and one of them was the Mets acquiring Ohtani. It makes sense. They've got the super prospect to do it in Francisco Alvarez. Also, the other thing, if you're the Angels, you're going to get 2 or 3 amazing prospects back for Shohei Ohtani, and Ohtani is only signed through next year. So for 1.5 years of Ohtani, you're getting back 2 potential cornerstone players that he still has amazing value. So if you're the Angels, there's no reason not to trade him other than what he brings to your market in terms of ticket sales, in terms of revenue, and keeping the Angels relevant. But it really doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things if you lose him for nothing next year. So I would be very interested, if I'm the Angels right now, in getting the maximum haul I can for Ohtani. There's a lot of different options. I think the Mets fit. Also, the thing with the Mets is they've got DeGrom. What are they going to do with him? Will they give him a long-term deal, considering the situation with his injury status? And then Max Scherzer, they gave a 3-year contract, but he's getting older. So the Mets are going to need, a pitcher. It's an interesting idea. Also, a team like the Padres could be in on Ohtani. There could be a number of teams, the Blue Jays even, for Bo Bichette maybe. So very interesting stuff there. Nolan Gorman, it says, would be a keystone piece of Cardinals' bid trade for Juan Soto, sources say. So if the rumor that the Nationals now do not want to dilute the Juan Soto trade by including Corbin's bad contract, the Cardinals move to the front of the picture with Matthew Liberatore, one of the top pitching prospects in baseball, with Jordan Walker, the top third base prospect in baseball, and then you've got already major league players, Dylan Carlson, an unbelievable young controllable outfielder, Tyler O'Neill, basically the exact same thing. He had a breakout season last year. And then you've also got Nolan Gorman, who was just called up this year. The Cardinals absolutely can trade for Soto if they want to do it. It just comes down to, do you want to give up that much for a Soto deal or not? It's just going to come down to which team is willing to give up the most for Juan Soto. And then you can see here, how realistic is it that the Angels trade Shohei Ohtani? And then they actually calculated Ohtani should be worth more than $64 million a year. Yeah, if I'm the Angels, I want no part of that. Could you imagine signing Ohtani to a 5-year contract at $60 million per year? Again, I like Ohtani, but my God, there is no way I would take that injury risk on, in my opinion. And then we've also got an interesting report. The White Sox and Yankees are interested in Jose Quintana. So the Yankees certainly are going to buy us, starting pitching depth at the deadline. Many of us expect it to be Luis Castillo. That makes the most sense. If the Yankees did somehow acquire Juan Soto, obviously they wouldn't also be able to get Luis Castillo. I'm thinking if they do get Soto somehow, they would look to get a Jose Quintana type where you wouldn't have to give up really much at all, and he would just kind of be a back-end starter for you. Obviously, Yankees would not have the prospects to be able to facilitate both a Juan Soto trade and a Luis Castillo trade. And for the Yankees, they need the Nationals to want to get rid of Corbin with Soto, because if they're just trading Soto, the Yankees are going to get outbid. The Yankees are going to have to take on the Corbin contract to be able to do the deal, because these other teams just have more overall young talent than the Yankees currently have. When it comes to farm system, when it comes to young controllable MLB players, which is what the Nationals apparently really value and really want. But really, like, the idea and the rumor that the Nationals don't want to dilute a Soto deal by including Corbin makes complete sense. Embrace the rebuild. If you're trading Juan Soto for young players, you're probably not going to be very good the next 2 years anyways. Corbin's contract is up in 2 years. So it's not like you're going to be needing that money to re-sign your players. They're all going to be in arbitration. So, yeah, if I'm the Nationals, I am 100% maximizing the biggest return possible I can get for Juan Soto with 4 to 5 impact young players or prospects that are either just entering arbitration, not even in the big leagues yet, something like that. I'm not including Patrick Corbin at all. The rumor, of course, was they wanted to include Corbin to get his contract off the books to make a potential sale when they sell the team more attractive. But I think it would be more attractive to have the best farm system in baseball personally, which is basically what you would get if you traded Juan Soto for the ridiculous haul that they could receive. Now let's just run through some trades. This is an Angels-Cardinals trade. The Cardinals, of course, have tons of assets. This would be for Shohei Ohtani and also Noah Syndergaard. We know the Cardinals need pitching as well, so they'd be getting Syndergaard. He's a free agent after this year, I believe, but you're giving up Nolan Gorman, you're giving up Libator. Those are the two main ones. Harrison Bader, I don't know how, I'm not sure the Angels would really want him, but overall, if I am the Cardinals, I would rather just trade for Soto. But this could, maybe they don't want to go all in on Soto. You trade for Ohtani. And again, the Cardinals need starting pitching depth. We know Ohtani is an elite pitcher. But the thing with Ohtani is you have to go to a 6-man pitching rotation if you trade to him. That's the kind of the issue with that. This is a Angels-Padres trade with the Padres acquiring Ohtani and giving, could you imagine this? If you're the Angels, man, if you're the Angels and you get this offer, you're getting a franchise shortstop. Now, I will say Mackenzie Gore just went on the IL with elbow issues, which is a major problem. That could seriously hurt the Padres in their pursuit of either Ohtani, Juan Soto. They've been kind of the dark horse team for Juan Soto, but if Mackenzie Gore, nobody's going to want to trade for Mackenzie Gore if he has some sort of elbow issue that has not even been diagnosed yet. So, that's not a good situation. And then Hassel, but that's a really nice haul for a year and a half of Ohtani, where you're going to have to pay him a ton of money after that. Getting 3 potential really good players, that's got to be really enticing for the Angels. This is the Mets trade here. You're getting Jeff McNeil, so a really good player that hits for a high average. Allen, the pitcher, is decent. And then you're getting the super prospect, the great catcher, Francisco Alvarez as well, if you are the Angels. These are significantly enticing trades for me if I'm the Angels. Again, it's not all about the trade. It's also about what Ohtani brings in terms of marketability to the Angels, which is something their owner would have to get past. Here's another trade with the Cardinals. So this is just the Cardinals getting Ohtani and the Angels getting Nolan Gorman, Libator, as well as a very good young catching prospect. So you're just getting such great value if you're the Angels. You're getting 2 to 3 really good young controllable players for a guy you're going to have to give maybe $50 million to in a year and a half if you want to re-sign him. It's just the most logical thing to trade Ohtani right now if you are the Angels and really rebuild your farm system. And then this is a Juan Soto trade paired with Corbin. So, this might not even be a thing. They might not even want to include Corbin, but you can see the prospects, the Nationals getting back Gorman. Of course, it looks like they've targeted him as a guy they want, Libator and O'Neill. They would also have to give up Jordan Walker if Patrick Corbin was not going to be involved. So you want to talk about an absolute haul. You're getting back Gorman, Jordan Walker, Libator, and O'Neill for Juan Soto because you wouldn't be including Corbin. You could take a look. Corbin has a negative value of 55, so they don't want to include him, which would net the Nationals a much bigger haul for Juan Soto. So this is just funny. There's no way the Orioles are going to do this. But guys, so you want to know something about the Orioles? This is why tanking works. The Orioles are going to be unbelievable in a year. They're contending right now. They're around 500. They have one of the best farm systems in baseball. They've got one of the best young shortstop prospects in baseball. They've got the best starting pitching prospect in baseball in the minors. And they're still already contending. Tanking does work. The Orioles have built an unbelievable nucleus. Now, they're not going to do this. This is just a stupid thing I thought I would share because it's funny, but that's why tanking works, guys. It 100% does. If you suffer long enough, if you're extremely bad long enough, you're going to start getting number one. And they just got Jackson Holliday. Oh my goodness. So they got another number one overall pick. So the Orioles are so set up for the future. I don't even know what this is. They sometimes do these 3-team trades. People will throw them up there. The Mariners getting Gavin Lux. The Dodgers getting Corbin and Soto. And then the Nationals getting a prospect haul. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. It's just something funny. Here is the Yankees acquiring both Corbin, Soto, and Cishek, giving up Dominguez, pretty much their entire top prospects. Yeah, so this is the problem the Yankees are going to have. If the Nationals don't want to include Corbin, you're giving up all of your prospects, and you're barely making it work here with them including Corbin. So if they don't include Corbin, you're going to have to meet 176 trade value. The Yankees just don't have... I feel like the most logical thing the Yankees are going to do, they trade for Luis Castillo, they trade for an outfielder, they trade for a relief pitcher, and maybe they also trade for Quintana, another starter, to really solidify that rotation. But the Luis Castillo to the Yankees, it just makes way too much sense. I feel like they just don't have enough to offer when it comes to a Juan Soto trade. They're just going to get outbid, in my opinion. This is another potential Soto trade, giving up Gleyber Torres. I think, again, if they don't want to include Corbin, the Yankees are just not going to be... Also, why would the Nationals want Herman? Oh my goodness, that's just, I didn't look that one over. So this is what I think the Guardians are going to do. So guys, I am a Guardians fan, and right now they've got basically way too many middle fielder prospects. They have to trade some of them. They got a major 40-man roster crunch, and I think what the Guardians should do, there was a rumor they were going to trade Zach Plesac or Aaron Savali. I'm fine with doing that. I would trade Amed Rosario for a prospect, and then I would turn around and I would trade 4 or 5 prospects for Sean Murphy. And you've got Sean Murphy for 3 more years after this year. The Guardians window could open next year. You've got Jose Ramirez. You've got Sean Murphy at that point. And this would be a trade. There's no way the Athletics would do this. I would do, as a Guardians fan, I would do this trade 1,000 times out of 1,000. This would be a total ripoff. I didn't even look at it. I mean, the values don't even match. But yeah, I'm fine with trading Josh Naylor. Guys, the problem with Josh Naylor, there's no defensive flexibility from him. He's a first base DH, and he's not even a good first baseman. So, I mean, Josh Naylor's a decent hitter, but I'm fine with trading him. And he's got good value right now, 25 trade value for basically a DH. This is another trade I would do as well. Arias is a top prospect. Oscar Gonzalez, I'm really not a big fan of. He doesn't walk enough for me. And you're getting Sean Murphy. Also, Logan Allen is a good pitching prospect. But getting, you can trade some of these middle infield prospects for Sean Murphy. And I think I'm very confident the Guardians are going to be the ones to trade for Sean Murphy. It just lines up. This is a Cubs-Mets trade that was featured. And, I mean, Cubs fans didn't like it. I think Cubs fans don't understand Wilson Contreras just doesn't have that much value. Because he's in the final year of his contract, you're basically trading for 2 months of Wilson Contreras, and the Cubs are just not going to get much back for him, unfortunately. They should have traded him in the off. Well, actually, he's having a good season, so he's probably actually upped his trade value, but the problem is you're trading for him for 2 months. So I understand Cubs fans not liking that, but it is what it is. This is Shane Bieber to the Guardians straight up for Francisco Alvarez. If you guys are unfamiliar, I believe Shane Bieber has 2 more years left on his contract after this year, so he is worth a significant amount, and it's very manageable. The Mets, that would be crazy for their pitching staff, trading Alvarez for him straight up. Here's another one, Gabriel Moreno, straight up, another superstar catching prospect for Shane Bieber. But guys, those are just the latest rumors when it comes to the MLB trade deadline. I think the most logical situations we're looking at is Juan Soto to the Cardinals, Luis Castillo to the Yankees, Shohei Ohtani either staying put or being traded to the Mets. Really, Ohtani could go a number of places, but I'm just speculating on what could potentially happen with some of the biggest guys. And then Wilson Contreras, obviously, he'll get moved. We've heard about the Mets being interested. We've heard about the Astros being interested in Contreras as well. Ian Happ is guaranteed to get moved as well. So we'll see where he goes. But guys, that's just the latest update on the MLB trade deadline. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.